I guess at this point I might as well rock the red sweater too. Good day, audio listeners. My name is Fago, and welcome back to an album review. Today's subject, Charlie Puth, Whatever's Clever. Charlie Puth. At this point, the man doesn't really need an intro because this is his fourth album, and he's appealed largely to millennials and Generation Z, and soon to be probably Generation Alpha. Charlie Puth, of course, has a very interesting backstory because there's nothing really amazingly iconic about it. He just developed his talent over time, went to school, and put his foot in the door right away. There's a lot of singles that people know from Charlie Puth. See You Again from Fast and Furious 7, We Don't Talk Anymore. His album Voice Notes actually got a lot of success too. And recently there was his self-titled record called Charlie, which had a lot of variety with singles including Light Switch and That's Hilarious. I personally enjoyed quite a bit of the album, but it wasn't really something that lived on as time went on. But now it's 2026 and Charlie has given us his fourth album at the age of 34. And I'm going to start this review off by saying Charlie Puth has really showed his talent and his growth as a producer in this record. Because, in my opinion, this is his most well-produced album so far. And the lead single, Changes, completely shows that. And the song title works out because up until this record, Charlie got married and even had a kid. The song, of course, talks about changes in our adult lives. And the instrumental MIDI melodies that he uses in this song I do enjoy a lot. His vocals are also really well produced. The harmonies also have a really good amount of reverb on them when he does the da, da, da. I like that a lot too. The chorus is also incredibly catchy. I love how he says there's been some changes, and the instrumental melodies hit at the same time as the vocals. The drums also have a very large variety, and the piano solo stands out because it's a regular grand piano, unlike all of the other atmospheric instrumentals that we get from this song. And I gotta say, there's even a slight bass slide before the final chorus that I thought was a very great touch. It's a really great start to the album, and it takes us to the second single, which is Beat Yourself Up. And while Beat Yourself Up isn't as dominant, I can enjoy once again how well produced it is. But the horns can eventually start to become a little bit more annoying. It doesn't start off annoying, of course, but it kindly just continues on that way. But it's a minor complaint, honestly, because the instrumental once again completely takes my attention. Because there's even some harmonies behind the horns, which I do love also. And also the drums once again are really good. The EQ is really set up in such a way that I love how in the background it sounds like it's super far away, but it's very up close at the same time. And of course the song is motivational because Charlie's not telling us to dwell in sadness. He's telling us not to beat ourselves up in life. And I do appreciate that also. Now, let me tell you, the third single is Cry, and this is probably Charlie's best song in my opinion. Because the vocal melody in the chorus works so well with the instrumental and the production on this, it's hands down the best song on this record in my opinion. Everything is swimming so well together, there's no instruments that are fighting for a lead melody. It's so great. And the saxophone solo is absolutely out of this world. It kind of reminds me of Tears for Fears' The Working Hour. So now we have the song Washed Up, which kind of takes this little summer beach vibe, and I also really do like this song too. The drums really add a lot because there's a lot of percussion in there. It's not a basic groove from an average drummer. The bass blends in really well with the song, and the guitars also kind of add more to that tender summer feeling. I like it a lot. And of course, Charlie's dominance as a vocalist really shows in this song because his harmonies and his melodies really stand out also in a great way. I love how pretty they sound too. And there's even a little bit of a dropout in the second verse that I like a lot too. Kind of crazy how we're talking about Washed Up because now the next song is called New Jersey, and it kind of reminds me, is Charlie talking about Ocean City, New Jersey, or any of the beaches down there? Regardless, the song is a bit wacky because the drums have this bell noise that plays throughout the entire song, and it throws me off because what was Charlie's intention behind this bell noise? Was he trying to add a comedic effect to it? I also kind of question why it's there throughout the whole song because considering how soft the guitars are, I think you probably could have went on with the bell noise only being in the intro. Also, the chorus doesn't really do a lot for me, and the feature on this song isn't really doing much either. And there's even a moment where both singers are clashing at the same time, and the production on their vocals kind of really shows that with the reverb also. And once again, I just have to say, What's with the bell noise? The song Don't Meet Your Heroes is unique because the drums take this jazz approach, and I do like that a lot. But the backing hums that Charlie decides to use on this song I do find a bit corny in my opinion. And I think if he used an instrumental harmony instead, like strings or even basic keys, I think that might have been better, especially with how soft those guitars are. It's a snoozer, but it doesn't mean it's a bad song. It's just pretty forgettable. Like I said, the production is very solid on this song also. With how great the piano harmonies and melodies sound on this song, it kind of proves my point about what would have happened if Charlie decided to use his vocal harmonies and replace them with keys instead, or maybe even strings. Now, the song Home takes this 90s approach because it sounds like Maxi Priest a little. The production also adds a little bit more dream pop, so it kind of sounds like we're listening to a 90s Owl City. The drums are incredibly catchy and they go so well with those bells. The performance from Charlie and the feature are spot on. And it's funny because the feature, who I'm probably going to say her name wrong, Haikuda, she's speaking a different language, and even though I have no idea what she's saying because I don't know Chinese, she still sounds great on this song. There's also another saxophone solo on this song like the previous one, Cry, and it once again sounds phenomenal. It's one of the better mellow songs that Charlie uses on this album. Now, the song Hey Brother, can I just please ask the question, why is there a kid yelling in the background throughout the entire song? The intro works, the outro works, but why is there dialogue happening in this song? The song is good, the song is solid, and it is really well produced, apart from the kid in the background, of course. Now, the song Sideways has this very odd intro because with the way that the rest of the song sounds, it doesn't match together at all in my opinion. Charlie then continues the trend of doing these 90 bells, which I also once again continue to like a lot. The drums also are once again very great. But there's something about the drums that I just don't really think it works with. There's like a high E flat key that hits on every single snare hit, and why is that there? It's fine at the beginning, but like I said, he does this a lot, but he has these weird instrument melodies or single note hits throughout the entire song. The kid speaking in the background in Hey Brother, and now we have a high E flat. And this song also kind of shows that Charlie has very forgettable features in my opinion. Coco doesn't really add a lot either on this song. Like, don't get me wrong, the performances are good, but there's nothing really to this song or the other feature songs that are leaving me astonished, other than Cry and Home. Now, continuing the whole feature road that Charlie does, Love and Exile kind of proves my point once again. The song's instrumental kind of reminds me of 2015 Tame Impala a little bit, and the song kind of continues off of what Washed Up sounded like, this summer-like anthem. But here's the problem. What are the vocals? Charlie is fine. Charlie is great as a vocalist. Mike McDonald is very ear-piercing on this song, especially in the bridge. Kenny Loggins isn't as bad, but it still does not work in my opinion. I think this song probably would have been better if it was mainly just Charlie leading the vocal melodies. You can use Kenny or Mike as harmonies, maybe in the background with reverb, but why give them lead melodies if they are almost 50 years from their prime? The song Until It Happens to You continues the saxophone solo, and we're 3 for 3 with the saxophone solo. Honestly, if Charlie had the saxophone solo on every single song, I would have enjoyed it, because it was consistency too. Who doesn't like consistency? In the beginning of this song, we have this very beautiful a cappella, followed by a beat and keys. The beat is phenomenal, and the keys kind of add a little bit of a tender atmospheric taste to the song. And Charlie's vocals are once again dominant. Now, what's the problem with this song, you might be wondering? Why is there monologue? The intro, yes. The outro, sure. Why is there monologue in the bridge? It's like we're listening to two songs that are the same exact thing, separated by an interlude, an intro. Now, I don't know the intent behind this, but I'm not a fan. I don't think this should have needed to be added in between the song. Intro, outro, like I said, sure, you can get away with that. But why have an entire monologue speech happening then? Now, the final song on this record is I Used To Be Cringe. The song is very simple. It's very acoustic. It's the most acoustic song on this record, and it's the least produced, if that makes sense. It's the most raw, but it sounds beautiful. You can argue that the melodies are a bit generic, but if I'm going to be honest with you, what's wrong with simple? The guitar riffs and Charlie's vocals work so well together, despite being raw. The oohs also are super tender and very pretty. But Charlie's vocals kind of sound like delay with no reverb, and it kind of throws me off a tiny bit. But it is one of the better songs on this album. So what do I think of this album? You can make the argument that this is his best album, and I probably agree. Voice Notes and Charlie are good albums, but with the way that everything is so well produced, how the performances are, it's up there, definitely. Obviously, it's better than 9-Track Mind because we can all laugh at it now. The complexity, the dynamics, Kenny and Haikuda as features were a great choice. There are a few hiccups on this record. Some of the features don't really add too much. There's a lot of times where melodies are led by a very annoying instrumental or dialogue throughout the entire song, but it's solid. If you want to get into Charlie Puth, I would definitely recommend this album. All in all, my score for this record is a 72. If you liked this review, hated it, or if you want me to review another album, let me know down below. Until then, good night and God bless.